You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 30th of June. India's foreign minister to visit US for Quad meet, focus on key Indo-Pacific issues. Rights activist flags concerns over interim rule in Bangladesh ahead of 2026 elections. And splashing mud and singing, Nepalese celebrate Paddy Day. And now for all the details, India's Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is set to embark on an official visit to the United States from 30th June to 2nd July to participate in the next edition of the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting. India's Foreign Ministry informed the Quad meeting will witness discussions on regional and global developments, particularly those concerning the Indo-Pacific. The foreign ministers of grouping, which includes India, Australia, Japan and the US, will also review the progress made by various Quad initiatives. The ministers are also expected to discuss advancing the free and open Indo-Pacific. India is set to host the Quad Leaders Summit later this year. Jaishankar will also inaugurate an exhibition highlighting the devastating toll of heinous terrorist acts around the world and the steps taken by the international community to combat terrorism at the United Nations headquarters. Moving on, a major national security conference in Canada has sparked strong calls for urgent action against rising extremism threatening the country's social fabric. The event brought together experts warning of threats from radical networks, including Khalistani and Islamist groups. A report.
The Canada-India Foundation, along with TAFSIC, held a national security conference in Ontario on Sunday under the theme United Against Extremism. Speakers warned that Canada's multicultural democracy is being misused by radical groups pushing divisive agendas from abroad. The event featured discussions around the 1985 Air India bombing to current threats from extremist outfits and foreign-funded networks, with calls for urgent policy response.
We feel Canada is not the same. I mean, we are, as community, going through a lot of threats in terms of extremism, and this is not against any community or any individual or any organization. This conference is for Canada, to preserve Canada in its pristine state, which we came to.
The conference flagged threats from Islamist networks, Khalistani separatists, radical far-left actors, and foreign agents posing as rights activists, and repeated silence by Canada's political leadership.
We have Islamists, Muslim Brotherhood, IRGC-connected, Pakistani ISI-funded shenanigans. We also have Khalistanis, of course. We have far-left radicals infiltrating our school systems and all that. And, of course, the rise of the sort of woke right, neo-Nazi segment of the population. So all the worst people in the country are very, very mad that this is happening, but I'd say all the best people in the country are in this building right now.
The conference followed Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with Canadian PM Mark Carney at the G7 summit earlier in June, where both sides raised concerns over Khalistani extremism and its impact on ties. The meeting was seen as a step toward easing tensions after the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar and the diplomatic fallout.
And Bangladeshi rights activist Manzil Murshid has said that the upcoming elections in Bangladesh could mark a turning point for democracy, but raised concerns over the legitimacy of the current interim government led by Muhammad Yunus. A report.
Prominent human rights activist Manzil Murshid, President of Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh, has stated that the 2026 election in Bangladesh can help restore democracy, but he questioned the legitimacy of Muhammad Yunus-led interim government, which lacks constitutional backing. Commenting on the country's souring ties with India following former PM Sheikh Hasina's ouster, Murshid said that both governments should take steps to improve relations with each other. They should sit down and resolve their differences.
Our culture is same, and we used to go there. We used to take many thousands of relatives living in India. many Bangladeshi people, and we had a good relation. We used to go there for treatment, for marketing, shopping, lot of things, and that has been stopped because there is a visa crisis. People are not getting visa, so if they don't get visa, how they will visit that? So I think that both the government should take steps immediately without considering the political aspect in order to keep the good relation for the betterment of the both people. They should sit, they should reduce their differences and make a good relation, make a good state relation through our two foreign ministry.
Murshid stated that Bangladesh has not proceeded in accordance with the law since August 5th, after Hasina's ouster. He backed the legal reinstatement of Jamaat-e-Islami's registration, but warned that excluding the Awami League would raise questions. Muhammad Yunus has informed that elections in Bangladesh will be held in the first half of April 2026.
But ultimately, after the 5th August, there was a conspiracy, as my opinion, because the state did not proceed in accordance with the death demand of the people. Because subsequently we saw that Dr. Yunus came and he was taken up the power as an interim government, though there was no provision in the constitution. There should be a caretaker government. If they formed a caretaker government, then there was a possibility to declare the election date earlier.
Moving on, the Sri Lankan Navy has apprehended 8 Indian fishermen and captured 1 boat for allegedly poaching in Sri Lankan waters north of Mannar, it said in a statement on Sunday. The Navy said the seized boat and the Indian fishermen were to be handed over to the Fisheries Inspector of Mannar for onward legal proceedings. This marks the first arrest since the commencement of the annual fishing ban. Fishermen associations from India's Rameshwaram have condemned the arrest and urged the government to take immediate steps to secure the release of the fishermen. The prolonged dispute over fishing rights has been a source of tension between India and Sri Lanka for many years, as they share an expansive oceanic border without any perceptible demarcation. Fishermen from both sides frequently stray into each other's territory while netting their catch and end up spending years in jails. And farmers across Nepal observed Ropai and Divas on Sunday by planting paddy saplings on terraced farms, a celebration that honors the age-old traditions of rice cultivation. Take a look.
Farmers across Nepal marked Ropain Diwas, also known as Ashad Pandra, on Sunday by planting paddy saplings on terraced farms by soaking in mud, music, and tradition. The paddy planting, known as Ropain, holds great significance for farmers, and this celebration honors the age-old traditions of rice cultivation, predominantly carried out during monsoon, which begins in June and lasts for 4 months. During the plantation, farmers chase each other, smearing mud on their faces and splashing muddy water for fun. A feast is also thrown which includes beaten rice, curd, pickle, and homemade brew. The Ropain Diwas has been celebrated as National Paddy Day in Nepal since 2005.
अब असार 15लाई चाहिँ विशेष गरी किन महत्त्व दिएको भने पहिला 2-4 गते भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब कति ठाउँमा पानी नहुने अब के नहुने हुनाले अब बीच असारको बीच पर्या हुन 15 गतेलाई चाहिँ असार 15 विशेष महत्त्व दिएर.
Nearly 80% of Nepal's rainfall comes during the monsoon, averaging 1,600 millimeters, though it varies. Paddy is cultivated in Nepal from the lowlands of Terai to the 3,000-meter-high fields of Jumla. The country produces around 5.5 million metric tons annually, short of the 7 million metric tons it consumes.
Moving on, Tibetan spiritual leader the Dalai Lama on Monday attended a public program in honor of his birthday this week in India's Dharamshala. He blessed monks and devotees at the event. The 14th Dalai Lama turns 90 on July 6. He is also due to address a 3-day gathering of Buddhist religious figures this week, as his followers wait for him to share details about his succession in a move that could irk China. Beijing views the Dalai Lama, who fled Tibet in 1959 after a failed uprising against Chinese rule, as a separatist and says it will choose his successor. The Dalai Lama has said his successor will be born outside China and urged his followers to reject anyone chosen by Beijing. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.